Welcome to Fun Python Projects. On this edition of Fun Python Projects, we'll be talking about Stopwatch app. Stopwatch app. So let's see how to make a stopwatch app using simple Python codes. So first of all, of course, in most of our devices, on our computers, on our smartwatches and all that, we have stopwatches. A stopwatch is a timekeeping device used to measure the amount of time that elapses between its activation and deactivation. So, I mean, when people are running a race, for instance, you want to take maybe you have several people running a race, and then so when the race starts, you put on a stopwatch. You want to know when each person reaches the finish line, and the stopwatch can do that for you. So, depending on the sophistication of the stopwatch, right? So, if you have 10 people, so once the first person gets there, there's something you can press a button, and then it records the time for that person. Second person goes, and you can do it for all the 10 people, depending on the sophistication of your stopwatch. So a stopwatch starts counting from zero when initiated and stops when commanded, providing an accurate record of elapsed time in hours, minutes, and seconds. Stopwatches are commonly used in sports, experiments, productivity tracking, and various time-sensitive activities to monitor performance, durations, or intervals. So if you don't have, let's imagine that you find yourself in a lab or you have to do something and you don't have a stopwatch. So this can really be handy. So you can quickly use this. It may not be the best of stopwatches for you to use, right? Because it may not be that convenient because you have to run codes, right? So, but then this can definitely do the job for you. So, uh, stopwatches are commonly used. Okay, like I think I've said that already. So stopwatches are commonly used in sports, experiment, productivity tracking, and various time-sensitive activities to monitor performance, durations, or intervals. In programming, a stopwatch can be implemented to practice concepts like loops, conditionals, event handling, and real-time updates. So how does this particular stopwatch work? So the program imports the time module to measure elapsed time accurately. That's why we have import time in the first line. So the stopwatch starts counting as soon as the function begins execution. It continuously updates the elapsed hours, minutes, and seconds on the same console line every second, right? So the stopwatch pauses, resumes, or stops based on user commands entered during the runtime. So there are some depending on the kind of use you're using your stopwatch for. So sometimes you may need to pause it and start again because you want to get, time doesn't wait for anybody, right? But you can make a stopwatch wait. Maybe you want to just get the total time it takes for someone to do a particular activity, but in between the actual activity, there are stops in between. When you just want to get just the time dedicated to the activities, or maybe you are conducting an experiment and you just want to know maybe the time it takes for a particular maybe acid-based reaction to reach what's that point called now? To reach, I've forgotten what the word is in chemistry. I mean, to reach that saturation point, it has a special word, all right? So you want to know the exact time it does. It reaches saturation point, and you want to do it for several experiments. So you can use a stopwatch can be done. So once an experiment reaches its saturation point, you can stop and then continue. You can pause and continue again and all that, right? So when stopped, it calculates and displays the total elapsed time, excluding any pause durations. So the reason for the pause is because anything in between you are not interested. You just want to see the time committed to the particular thing you might be doing. So for the code now, we have you import time, import threading, and we'll see the use of all this. So then you now define a function, define stopwatch. So print stopwatch started. So once you start stopwatch started, then print the commands. Now, do you want to pause? Do you want to resume? Or do you want to stop? Once you start, then your start time is equal to time.time. So this time function is coming from the time module. And then pause is false, running is true, pause underscore start is zero, pause duration is zero. That's these are initializations done right here. Now you now see this other function called the command listener is defined is nested in the actual stopwatch function. So in this case now, in the command listener, you have non-local pause running pause underscore start pause underscore duration while running the command. You have input strip dot lower. So this is very good in case anyhow you type it in, so that your code can be case sensitive. So whatever you type in, it's going to be okay like that. So if you type capital letters, it's going to remove the spaces before and after it, and then it will make it into lowercase. Then if CMD is P, then if not paused, then it will say paused is true. So if it was not paused by the time you type P, then it will now say paused now should be true. Initially paused was false, right? Okay. So then pause start is equal to time.time. So that's to keep the time in between from the beginning to that pause time. So it's now say pause, type R to resume. So if you want to resume it, tell you to type R. So else if the command is R. So if it was paused, then pause will now be false so that it can resume. So pause duration will now be plus equals time.time minus pause start. So this is help you make calculations to be sure that only the active time is what you calculate. So once you press R now, it's now tell you resumed, and then to go on again. So else if the command is S, so running will now be false because you want to stop. So once running is false, then it will now print stopping stopwatch, and then it will break. Then it will now run input listener in background. So in that case, that's where the threading thing comes in. So you remember we uploaded we imported threading as a function. So you now have threading.thread. Target is command listener. So we're targeting the command listener that was earlier defined, this particular function right here. Then diamond true.start. So you can now try while running, if not paused, elapsed time will be because the time.time minus start time minus paused duration. So that you can get only the active time. So you have hours and remaining. So you do division by modular division, and you get elapsed will now be by 3,600. That's like 3,600 seconds for an hour. Then for minutes and seconds now, the modular division, the remainder will be after you divide it by 60 seconds, which makes 1 minute. So here it's by 3,600 seconds, which makes 1 hour. And then you print elapsed time. So at all of that, you have it in two decimal, not two decimal places. You have two, like the number 0244, two figures after the full colon. That's what you have this for. Then you can now do an exception if necessary, except keyboard interrupt. So running is false. So once keyboard interrupt, then the running will be false. That means the whole thing stops. So then the total time is equal to time.time minus start time all over pause duration. So that in hours and remaining, you have all this total time by 3,600 minutes and seconds. Modular division, you have the remainder after you divide by 60, and then you print this. So let's go. So, and this is what you run, how you run the code with this if underscore double underscore name, double underscore is the same as double underscore main, double underscore in quotes. And then you now implement the stopwatch. So this stopwatch here is actually this first function that was defined right here. So let's go for that. I click on that and it takes a bit of time and it gives some kind of outputs. Yeah. So now in this case, it's everything just keeps going. So because since I've started it, so it keeps going until I want it to stop. So it means you can go all the way to whatever number of hours you may want to be interested in, like that. So you have that. So now 20 seconds, 21, 22, 23. Okay, I'll patiently wait till it gets up to like 1 minute. Let's see what happens. 1 minute. Okay, 32, 33, 34, 35. Okay, 42. So you can see while this is happening, you see the code is run. It means the code is still running because it's active. So at this point now running is true, not false. Okay, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. So at 60, it's like 1 minute, 2 seconds, and so on and so forth. So when it now gets to 60 minutes, now it will spill out here too, and you have like 1 hour. But here now, I can pause it, so and press enter. So you see the elapsed time so far has been 1 minute, 11 seconds by the time I paused it. So, with additional time, so that's 1 minute, 12 seconds. So I can resume by pressing R. So I press R. So it continues again. So it continues from where it stops, right? It just continues from where it stops. So even if the pause time was 1 hour, once I press resume again, it will just continue from where the time stopped by the time I paused it. So let me pause again. Okay. So you see, it was paused again at 1:31. I can resume it again, and then I keep going. All right. Let me take it up to like 2 minutes. I can pause in between. So let's take it to like 2 minutes again. It's 41, 42, 43, 44, 46. Let me pause again. All right. And then I resume again. So we continue 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, that's two. So at this point, I can then stop. All right. So we already know to stop, we just type S. So you can see pause, resume, or stop. Those are the things. So for this stop now, like I said, it's case insensitive. It's not case sensitive. So I can type S. You could have typed B, capital P, capital R, or capital S for pause, resume, and stop, respectively. So now capital S. So because the code is designed in such a way that even if I have space in front of the S and space after the before the S, and after it. So it has been designed in such a way that to strip off all the empty space before and after and convert it to small letter. And by the time I press this now, you can see the code of the whole thing just stops. So the total time of doing this whole thing is 2 minutes 40 seconds. And that is this beautiful thing about Stopwatch app. So in case you are stuck, you don't have a stopwatch, you can, of course, like all the code sheets I'm using for this, you can check, you can get them on Google Drive. Just follow the link in description, either on Facebook or on YouTube, and it will take you to the Google Drive where you can download all this. So in case you don't have a stopwatch and you need to use one, you can quickly download it. Interestingly, you don't even have to install anything. Just open Google Colab as far as you have a Gmail account and upload this code, or you can even copy and paste the code and run it, and then you can use it as your stopwatch. So it comes in very handy even when you least expect. All right. So thank you so much for listening to this video on how to make a stopwatch in Python. Let me know how helpful this is for you. And if there's something else you'd like me to try out, feel free to let me know. You can check the previous videos to see some other interesting fun projects we are done, right? So check them out. And if you haven't subscribed already, I thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, of course, you don't want to keep missing the great things I have going on this channel, be it in mathematics, data analysis, data science. I even get to talk about scholarships, personal development, and things like that. You want to actually avail yourself of all of these things for sure. Subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can always get alerted each time a new video is released. Having done that, you can take it a step further by clicking on join to become a member of the channel. And that gives you some special privileges like hanging out with me, depending on your level of membership, like that. Ultimately, don't forget to comment, like, and share so that more people can have access to the great content I have going on here. Till I come your way again, keep doing Python right. Bye.